Hello children, in this video I'm going to explain you about pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is known as the master gland. Why is it so? Because it controls and coordinates the functioning of other glands, okay, present in the whole body. So it regulates the functioning of almost all the other glands present in the rest of the part of the body. Now here you can see where it is located. This is your brain, okay, structure of the brain. This is the brain stem and this is the cerebellum, and this is the cerebellum. Now where it is present at the base of the brain, this way. Now when we enlarge this portion, you can see that this portion is connected, this pituitary gland is connected with the hypothalamus, okay. So from there the lobe kind of structure comes out. Now this portion is called the front lobe, or also known as the anterior lobe, okay, anterior front lobe, and this one is the posterior, that means the back side, okay, the posterior lobe. And middle portion will have the intermediate lobe, okay. But basically the work function of these two lobes will be seen here. Now this anterior lobe, we are talking about the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland, that will secrete the hormone called the tropic hormone, okay. It's called the tropic hormone, and this tropic hormone will regulate the secretion of the glands called the thyroid gland, which you have already studied, and also the gonads. Structures are there, that is the testis and the ovaries. So here you can see that the testis and the ovaries secretion and the thyroid gland secretion, that will be controlled by the tropic hormone. Now this one is the first hormone which is secreted. Another hormone which is secreted by the pituitary gland are the growth hormone. They are the growth hormones. Now these growth hormones, also known as GH, okay, in the short, so that is for the normal growth of the child, okay, and this growth hormones will be active during the growing years of the child, okay. So here you can see that the growth hormones are also secreted by this anterior lobe of the pituitary gland, which affects the growth of the child. If there will be more secretion, that means if growth hormone will be secreted more during the growing years, then the problem will be of the gigantism. Gigantism means the child will keep on growing taller and taller, okay. He or she will keep on growing taller and taller in his or her growing years. And when there will be less secretion of growth hormone, then there will be the problem of dwarfism, okay. The child's height will not increase during the growing years. Now the posterior lobe will also secrete some hormones. The first hormone is the oxytocin, and the another hormone is called the vasopressin. Vasopressin is also known as ADH. Why? Because it is anti-diuretic hormone. Now, what is the function of vasopressin? Vasopressin controls reabsorption of water from urine. If you remember, in the 7th standard you have studied about the urine formation, and there will be the 3 processes, in which one process is, the first one is the filtration, then reabsorption, and the last one is the secretion. So this enzyme antidiuretic enzyme will affect the reabsorption process. Reabsorption of what? Reabsorption of water into the urine. Okay, the extra water, the more water that is absorbed in the from the blood. But here you can see that if this antidiuretic hormone will not be there, then reabsorption process will get disturbed. Okay, and more water will start getting excreted with the urine. Now another hormone that is called the oxytocin, that helps in the childbirth and milk expulsion at the time of suckling. That means it helps in the milk production in the mammary gland. Okay, so more the oxytocin is there, more milk will be produced. It helps in the production of milk in the mammary gland. That's why nowadays you will see that those cattle who are supposed to give the milk, okay, they are the milk producing animals like cow, buffalo and all, they are given this oxytocin injection. So here I want to summarize this, that is pituitary gland is known as a master gland because it controls and regulates or coordinates the functioning of other glands. Okay, now where it is located, the location is at the base of the brain. Okay, here the hypothalamus is having the neurons. Okay, and these neurons will stimulate the posterior lobe and the front lobe. Okay, now here you can see that this pituitary gland is having main two lobes. One is the posterior lobe and another is the anterior lobe. Anterior lobe is the front one, whereas the posterior lobe is the back side one. So, and the middle one is having the intermediate lobe. Now this front lobe it secretes two main hormones. One is the tropic hormone and another is the growth hormones. So tropic hormones, they are controlling the functioning of the secretion of the thyroid gland, and that is the gonads, that is testes and the ovaries. That's why you can see that it is very much helpful for the functioning of this testes and the ovaries also. Next hormone is the growth hormone. Growth hormone, when there will be more secretion in the growth hormone, so during the growing years the child will grow taller and taller and there will be the abnormal growth, and whereas when the growth hormone will be secreted less, then the child will remain dwarf. The child will remain short. Now moving towards the another lobe, that is the posterior lobe. It releases two hormones, oxytocin and vasopressin. Vasopressin is also known as antidiuretic hormone because it affects the reabsorption of the urine. Okay, during the urine formation, one process is there that is called the reabsorption, from which the water is absorbed back into the blood and then urine will get separated. Now this condition is known as diabetes insipidus. Okay, so this is not related to the diabetes mellitus. This diabetes insipidus is different from the diabetes mellitus because in diabetes mellitus, when there will be the less secretion of the insulin, okay, in that case the blood sugar will increase. Okay, so and that will be excreted out with the urine. And here in this process, that is diabetes insipidus, it is a disorder of salt and water metabolism. Okay, salt and water metabolism, and the result will be lots of, that means the intense thirst will be there and heavy urination. That means every now and then the person will feel like urinating. Next hormone is the oxytocin. Oxytocin helps in the childbirth and also in the milk production. So during the childbirth there are the labor processes and which require some sort of changes in the lower part of the body in females, and also for the milk production in the mammary glands.